All right, good evening, everyone. This meeting of the Blue Ridge City Council will now come to order. Let the record reflect that a quorum is present and the council is authorized to conduct business. Let's start out with the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer. At this time, I'd like to invite Reverend Rusty Thomas from First Baptist Church Blue Ridge to lead us with a prayer.
Let's pray together. Father, thank you for your goodness to us. Thank you for the privilege to be able to open this time of hearing and contemplation and decision with asking you for wisdom. We know all wisdom comes from you, so thank you. And Lord, we pray that you would bless the meeting tonight with that wisdom, also with Christ, your love and cordiality to one another. And we pray that you would protect each one here tonight as there is hearing and there is discussion and then decision. So we thank you so much for being here, Lord Jesus, and we pray your blessings on this gathering. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. At this time, I'd like to invite Myra Cantrell, Asher Cantrell, and Laney Ryan to the podium, please. We can begin when you're ready. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the first next thing up is the approval of the minutes. If you'll notice, the minutes from the January 5th meeting were attached to the agenda by mistake. These minutes have already been approved. The minutes from the meeting on January the 20th, 26th have been emailed to all of you for your review and are located on the inside of your left packet. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to amend the agenda to reflect the January 2026 meeting minutes be added in place of the January 5th minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. Are there any discussion with these changes? Okay. We'll now proceed to a vote. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay. Thank you. All opposed, like sign. As I previously stated, the January 20th meeting minutes have been distributed, as well as the meeting minutes from the February 10th workshop meeting. Are there any corrections to these minutes? Seeing none, I'll now entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll
Second. Okay, let's proceed to a vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. All opposed? The minutes are approved. Council, you have the agenda in front of you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, let's now proceed to a vote. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. All opposed? The agenda is approved as presented. Before we begin with item number 5, I want to note for the record that Councilwoman Jacqueline Kiker has a potential conflict of interest with this matter, and I want to allow her to expand.
Mayor and council and members of the public, I need to disclose a conflict of interest. My husband is the realtor representing the buyer of subject property. If the property were to close, he would receive a compensation from the sale. For this reason, I'm recusing myself from any discussion or vote in this matter. With the mayor's permission, I respectfully request to be excused while this agenda item is under consideration, and that Ms. Jennifer Bates retrieve me once the item has been concluded. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Let's let the record reflect that Councilwoman Kiker has left the room prior to the beginning of consideration of item number 5. Before we begin on this item, I want to note for the record that for a public hearing for the rezoning of the applications of parcels BR 02022 and BR 02 and 023 was held at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on February the 4th. Tonight there will be a public hearing on a special exemption variance related to the building height for these same parcels. But given the public's feedback to this project, we will allow the public hearing to be held regarding items A and B at the same time. However, in accordance to the city charter, the items will be taken up separately for council discussion and for action. At this time, I'd like to ask Jennifer Bates to explain the two rezonings.
This is an application for V2 Holdings, LLC, to rezone certain real property located at 742 East 2nd Street from C1, which is neighborhood commercial, to CBD Central Business District, for a conditional use permit to allow the development of a hotel on the property, and for a concurrent variance to exceed the maximum building height of 35 feet and to allow the structure to be 49 feet 6 inches in height as measured from East 2nd Street. Staff reviewed the application and the staff analysis is in your packet, and staff recommended a denial of this application. I should note that staff did include some conditions for the development, and if the application were ultimately to be approved, they recommended those be applied. There was a public hearing, as Andy mentioned, before the Planning Commission on the requested rezoning and conditional use permit on February 4th. Following the public hearing, the Planning Commission made a recommendation to approve the rezoning from C1 to CBD with the conditions recommended by the staff, but made no recommendation on the conditional use permit. The council is not required to have another public hearing on the requested rezoning or the requested conditional use permit, but the council will need a public hearing on the requested variance.
Thank you, Jennifer. I will now open the public hearing on items 5A and 5B. When you come to the podium, please state your name, direct your comment to the council, keep them respectful, and limit your comments so that everyone has an opportunity to speak. Each side will collectively have 10 minutes. We'll begin with those in favor. And as a reminder, this is a public hearing and will not be a question and answer platform. Will those in favor please come forward?
Good afternoon, council members. Mayor, thank you. Jennifer, thank you. Pastor, thank you for the prayer. My name is Paul Shaheen, 1/3 of the development team out of Chattanooga. Fell in love with Blue Ridge a couple years ago. Have done some projects here, care about it. Care about what it can become and what it has become, and its history as well. I'll be short so we can get to Craig Peavy, our award-winning architect, also another third of our partnership. Matt Hollander, our other partner, is not here today, had a family obligation that he could not miss, sends his regrets. So we've been on this piece of property and trying to figure it out for about 13 months now. From August until now was kind of our plan to get in front of City Council. Some delays here and there. That happens in development. We understand that. Nonetheless, we got here today. We're happy about that. I want to thank Miss Leanne Hobgood back here, owner, her and her family. They've been gracious enough to extend with us to get to this point. Listen, we've heard all the feedback from any and everyone for months, even before August. We've talked to about everyone we could about this, and we've heard the feedback. We've seen the comments. In short, with respect to all of that feedback, we believe today, working together, we figured it out. We feel we have a solution, and for more on that, again, our other partner, Craig Peavy, is going to explain a little more on that. So thank you all for your time.
Okay, I'm Craig Peavy. As Paul said, I'm one of the partners in this project. We, like Paul said, have been considering a hotel for over a year for this location. It's pretty obvious that the city, and when I say the city, I'm saying the occupants, the residents, and the Planning Commission have all voiced a very loud opinion that that is not an appropriate use for this site. we hear you loud and clear. I'm not sure of the procedural change, but we would like to ask that in reaction to the Planning Commission's suggestion, we would like to remove the conditional use request. We feel that the CBD that is in your zoning code offers a great deal of development opportunity that still aligns with the things that we've been told that you want. Your town, the vernacular, the identity of the 2- and 3-story storefronts that line the main street are gorgeous. They're the things that have brought us to this town that make us feel that it is unique and valuable. So if you look at what's currently listed as options and viable uses under CBD, those are the things that we're now turning our attention to. The small retail shops, the commercial ground floor uses that have lofts above. And we feel that along First Street, that is a great opportunity to do that. We also heard from the Planning Commission that C1 zoning, that is the buffer zone between the CBD and the residential districts, was there for a reason. So in honor of that, what we would like to do is suggest that if approved to CBD, there is a small and light commercial that's allowed that can coexist with residential. And we would like to develop the site in that way and do it in a very thoughtful way that actually maybe even creates a buffer between the two because it kept being referred to by Planning Commission as the transition zone between CBD and residential. So if you look at C1, there are really just 3 uses. There is office building, singular, there is churches, and then there's single family detached. As a developer, that's a very limited arsenal for us to be able to pick from to be able to develop. I'm not real sure if there's a huge market for office buildings in downtown Blue Ridge, but we know for a fact that there is retail and restaurant and small boutique shops. We know that is what is being asked for and what we could provide on a high level. So the variance for the height was strictly tied to the hotel. If we're not doing a hotel, the variance we would like to retract. So there's, from our perspective, no debate on wanting to do the variance for the height. There was also another piece of this where we were asking to interpret the building height as it relates to grade. So if we're not doing the hotel, that request is also retracted. We are simply asking to take this really nice piece of property that is C1, that is very limited in its use, and allowing us to rezone to CBD so that we can provide the things that we were told by your residents that they would like us to provide from a development standpoint. So I'm open to answer any questions, or if we need to wait till a later period for that, I'm certainly available. But thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else in favor?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Okay. Hi, some of you know me and some of you don't. I went to high school with you, Bubba. My name's Leanne Hobgood. Some of you know me as Leanne Sanders. In my earlier life in Blue Ridge, I'm a longtime Blue Ridge resident. I'm here to represent my brother Ben and myself and the estate of our beloved mom, Helen Jane Hackney Wilson. My brother Ben and I are both graduates of Fannin County High School, and we love Blue Ridge very much. Our mother grew up in the house that used to be on the property that we are here to talk about tonight. My grandfather, Fred Hackney, ran a local printing shop, which you can see the shop when you drive by the property. It's still there, obviously not functioning anymore. He inherited that from my great-grandfather, J.M. Hackney, and we love the property very much, and we're looking forward to see something wonderful happening with it. But I would like to tell you just a little bit about my mom, Helen Jane Hackney Wilson. She was a member of the City Council of Blue Ridge, served from 1989 until 2005. She also served on the Library Board of Directors. She absolutely loved the City of Blue Ridge, and so do we. My mother had a true servant's heart. It was her hope that our property that belonged to our family would be developed into some sort of business that would be a welcoming site for residents and visitors. And I know she would be glad to see the jobs and all the future development there. And I would just like to ask for your support in seeing this development go through. And I do appreciate your time and allowing me to express my support for the developers, and I'm excited to see what they bring to us. And thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mike Painter. I was a member of the zoning board that made the motion for rezoning, not a motion to build the hotel. And I want to make sure that's clear. My request was primarily for the group to be able to come back with alternative recommendation, and I think they've done that tonight.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone else?
I don't know if this is the right time for me to speak or not, but,
This is for the in favor portion.
well, this is, I guess I just wanted to clear something up.
Yeah.
From the zoning committee, when they had their meeting, I'd actually filled out one of the opposition forms just because I didn't know what all was going on. And I spoke at the opposition part, but I told them then, it's not that I'm against it, but it's just that I wanted more information. But after seeing the picture of what y'all was gonna build for the hotel and stuff, I guess over the past 25 years, I've probably looked at the property more than anybody because it's right out our kitchen window. And here's what I want to say is this. I just want to let you know that I am not against it. The hotel y'all was planning on building, it looks very nice and stuff, and if y'all wanted to do that, that's fine with me. If you don't want to do it, that's fine with me. I just don't want anybody to think that I was against it. Okay, I'm sorry. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not leaving mad, but I just got to go to Bible study. So I'm
Okay.
just leaving. All right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, we'll now move forward to those who wish to speak in opposition. Anyone in opposition, please come forward. What's
I'll go first.
okay.
Hi, my name is Tom Hegel. I'm the developer and principal owner of the Hampton Inn. Obviously, I had a lot of notes to discuss that would, I think, be prudent towards opposing this project, but I just want to, since they are now, shifting gears and considering a different use, I actually just wanted to come up and applaud you guys for doing what you're doing. I had all kinds of reasons why that location was not the right location for a hotel, but I don't need to get into that. I'll, again, just applaud you guys for changing the scope of your project and doing what I, as a resident of Blue Ridge now, feel is probably a much more appropriate use for that site. So I'll leave it at that. And again, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
I've never done this before. I'm Divina Lee. I live on Jones Street. And so I'm in and out of East 2nd Street all the time, every day. I'm new to this.
You're good.
And I don't see a hotel there. I don't see a restaurant there. And I don't see a bar there. So we like to walk around the neighborhood fulfill our freedom, our safety, and everything. So I object to that type of building. I don't have a problem with homes or maybe a law office, you know, that type of thing, but a hotel, restaurant, bar, I'm against.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Main council. It's a little
Thank
bit
you.
on this side, but I am opposed to it. I live on Church Street. I can see the property. Okay.
You have to talk right
And-
into it.
Okay, and I have property just almost right across from it. It'd just be a lot of traffic. Well, first of all, I'm glad it's not going to be a hotel, but what I did want to say, though, the main thing is, once it's zoned CBD, that they can do whatever they want to. A year later, they could sell the property, somebody could come back, do something else, somebody could come back and even ask for a hotel to be put there. CBD, you can do restaurants, bars, you know, higher traffic things. I think C1 is a good zone for it. You know, I mean, you know, law offices, whatever, but I just don't think it's the right place. I see there's a lot of people uses Church Street, East 2nd Street to get to Jones Street, to get to the residential areas over there, North Court, all those areas. It's just, I just think it'd just be too much, and I request that y'all do not rezone this CBD.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition?
I'm Margaret Tilly Middleton, and I'm a longtime resident of Blue Ridge. I was actually born on off of 2nd Street at the Burns Clinic, and my home was on 1st Street. So we now live across the way in the west side of town. But I'm opposed to the zoning because to me it's spot zoning. The zoning of C1 is for neighborhood commercial, which to me is very appropriate for that area. As Angie said, CBD, there could be anything there. And with the traffic, I spent 40 years in Atlanta and came back to retire to my family home. And right now, we know that the traffic, the area is just totally changed from what I grew up in. But that's okay, you know. We know that things, you know, that things go on. But I'm very opposed to the traffic, the area that's right across the street from a neighborhood. And we deal with that on the west side too. We know that moving back here will be, you know, we'll have to deal with this for a long time. But we love Blue Ridge. We want to keep it as charming as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else in opposition?
I think a lot of people got to realize what can be built there. And I think that's the big thing. If I'm not mistaken, C1, we can put a vape shop there, can't we? Right business? You can? I think you need to go through and see what you can put on C1 and the other things that are available on that lot versus some nice architectural professional building. And you know, I'm a firm believer if you don't grow, you die. And the last 3 to 4 years we haven't grown a lot. And I'm concerned about the next 10 years.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition? In opposition of the, yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought of something else, but you know, I'm sure everybody knows that I'm for controlled growth, and I just think it's a dangerous thing when we start going CBD into a residential neighborhood, residential streets that are used to main residential areas. I mean, went on council before, I mean, I opposed it when it was going down Ada Street to go CBD right into a residential area. So I just think it's a dangerous thing to do that, and once it starts, I mean, where does it end? It could be a domino effect, so I just think that it's just dangerous, and it's not controlling growth, and I disagree if you know that I've lived here probably as long as anybody, 60 years, so I don't think we're going to die and go away if something's not zoned CBD, you know, in a residential area. CBD is the downtown business district, so, you know, that's not downtown. So, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else in opposition? Okay. At this time, I want to let the record show that we've had multiple emails and submissions in opposition. At this time, I could let Jennifer start reading some of those into the record.
There was 2 submitted to Mr. Rhodes, and Ms. Middleton was able to be here, so she was one of those. But Mr. Richard Arnold sent in comments on zoning requests for the 1-acre property. I'm writing to provide all of you with my comments on this zoning issue that I'm out of town for the entire month. We live 1.5 blocks from the property. We, along with my neighbors, are opposed to changing this zoning from C1 to CBD, and we're opposed to the planned construction boutique hotel. Our neighborhood is not a place for this kind of development. You should not rezone the property to CBD, nor should you vote to allow a hotel on the property, and you should absolutely not allow a height variance of 35 feet. You need to protect our beautiful end of East 2nd Street. Drive it, look out, and at how well everyone takes care of the property. Drive further down East 2nd and look at how many residential homes that have been built in the last 2 years. Keep our residential street residential.
Thank you, Jennifer. At this time, I'll now close the public hearing on items 5A and 5B. We'll now take up item 5A separately. Item 5A is a consideration of a motion to approve the rezoning of parcels BR02022 and BR02023 from C1 Neighborhood Commercial District to CBD Central Business District, with the conditional use request of these parcels pursuant to Chapter 140 of the City of Blue Ridge zoning ordinance to allow development of a hotel motel. Council, now is the time to enter a motion for consideration.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the staff recommendation to not rezone this property to CBD.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We'll now open the floor for discussion.
So I appreciate what you guys came in and did with the shifting gears here. But your highest hurdle to me was to justify CBD on East 2nd Street. CBD doesn't touch East 2nd Street today. CBD is meant to be a pedestrian area. East 2nd Street is not a pedestrian area. And once you start crossing East 1st Street, there's a lot of tractor trailer traffic from Lance trucks, from the Stone Yard, school buses. That is not a pedestrian street. We are not set up for that to be. People walk up and down the street on the one sidewalk, but they do not meander about and step off the sidewalk randomly on East 1st Street. Your highest bar was to justify crossing to East 2nd with CBD. There's currently CBD on the east side of East 1st, but that's at the Misty Mountain Hops restaurant. And you can already see the problems that's caused because they can only park about 1/3 of the people there for their restaurant. And then they start going across the street to the Tea Tree Spa and the TDS building, where there's no guarantee that they can continue to allow parking there going forward. So in my opinion, the biggest hurdle you had was to justify CBD on East 2nd Street. I like what you came in and said, though. Denying CBD does not deny there's a huge list of C2 issues that I would be in favor of you coming back on the piece of property with a whole different proposal. We came here tonight expecting even though you presented it as a 49-foot hotel, there was a negative 12 feet to go along with the 49. So it was actually a 61-foot-6 building off East 1st. Okay, 61 feet's taller than the Hampton Inn. So I get why you pulled that away. Okay, So there's a huge list under the C2, and a well-designed proposal on that property for something like you're talking about is good. But CBD on the East 2nd Street is a very high bar, and I don't feel that was met today.
Anyone else? No, the comment
This is a
questions.
discussion among us.
Anyone else?
My problem would be with the traffic coming from Church Street, East 2nd Street, going to East 1st Street. We've got the school buses, you've got kids that have their own vehicles, they got these large trucks. It's already a traffic quagmire.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Anyone else?
You
All right.
folks were the ones that built the Highlands Motel, am I correct? Okay. So what you're talking about is behind Rexall there. Is that what you're speaking of, or the one above it? I'm
Mr.
more
Taylor,
confused.
Mr. Taylor, this isn't question and answer.
I
right
understand
now.
that,
It's
but
conversation.
you want me
on
to
the
vote? I
council.
have to know what I'm voting for, Mayor.
Sir, no more questions to the folks. It's discussion amongst us.
This is across the road from Bill Prather's parking lot. It's the corner of East 2nd, Church, and East 1st. It's
what I
not
thought.
behind the Rexall. It's up on the hill.
That's what I thought.
Next door to Angela DeLorme's law office.
Okay. That was the question I had for you.
The Edwin Hotel? Yes, that's beautiful.
Okay. All right, let's proceed to a vote. All in favor of the denial, raise your right hand. Okay. All opposed, same sign. Okay. The consideration of a motion to approve was denied by the staff recommendation. We'll move forward to the special exception variance for the building height. This is item 5B, which is a consideration of a motion to approve the special exception variance request of parcels BR02022 and BR02023 under Chapter 140, Section 241, and Section 140-4 to increase the maximum building height from 35 feet to 49 feet 6 inches as measured from East 1st Street, and excluding the basement from being included in the height measurement. I'll entertain a motion regarding 5B.
I make a motion to deny the height variance request. It's actually 61 feet 6 inches from East 1st Street.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second, but since we didn't approve the A, do we even have to think about B?
Technically, no, but we can just go ahead and close it.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I second.
Okay. We'll open the floor for discussion. All right, let's proceed to a vote. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay. All opposed, same sign. Item 5 is now concluded. Let the record reflect that Councilman Kiker is returning to the council meeting and will resume participation in the remainder of tonight. Okay. Welcome back. There are no consent agenda items. Moving on to action items. We have a consideration of a resolution of the City Council of the City of Blue Ridge, Georgia, amending the fiscal year 2026 budget as outlined in the attached document entitled Budget Amendment 1, modifying the fund balance policy previously adopted and providing an effective date. This is a budget amendment to provide that all permanent employees hired before January 1st, 2026 shall be granted a cost of living COLA increase adjustment of 3% effective February 27th. Also, to add a position of assistant to mayor to the executive department, to add a part-time position of records custodian to the administrative department. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for action on item 7A.
I make a motion to approve both of them.
Second.
All right. We'll now open the floor for discussion. Okay, let's proceed to a vote. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. All opposed, same sign. All right, the motion passes. Next, we have 7B. This is a consideration of a motion to award the biennial service installation contract for CNS project B7970.008 to Holloway Trenching LLC. This is a TAP service installation contract that was bid out containing detailed pricing and estimates for jobs related to new installs. This contract allows us to seamlessly move forward with jobs that are too large or too complex for our crews to handle. We also use these contractors as much or as little as we want because it does not contain a minimum. At this time, do I entertain a motion for action item 7B?
I make a motion to approve action item 7B.
Second.
Okay. We'll now open the floor for council discussion.
So this is an open-ended contract,
2-year.
but it's open-ended. They can come and go as they please, spend what they want.
No, they can't just come and go as they please. It would be on a request basis.
So you would request that they do that, and then they'll be paid accordingly?
And through the customer.
Okay.
So it's for a meter tap
I understand.
instead of us doing it.
I just
Didn't
want to
sound
make
like you
sure
did.
we understood that somebody had control over what was spent.
Anything else? All right, let's proceed to a vote. All in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. The motion passes. There are no discussion items on the agenda. That leads us to reports. And before we get started, I want to say that these reports are really designed right now to be an update for the community, and that I believe more detailed reports we can start preparing and present at our workshop meetings. First, we'll speak to, we've had a lot going on over the past couple months. We've accomplished a lot of things, and this is an opportunity I want to take to share with the public what we've been working on. So Planning and Zoning Department, Jennifer.
So our report tonight is myself, Eric Soroka, our zoning consultant, and Kelsey Ledford. We just want to provide this update that the mayor requested as to what files are open and submitted in the zoning office right now. As many of you may have seen, the food line sign was hit by a tractor trailer, and that sign was more than 60% destroyed, so that means it would need to be replaced. The owner has applied to replace the sign, and they were misinformed by our prior zoning administrator that they needed to file a variance. But actually, to replace the existing sign, that pole sign is a prohibited sign under our code at this time. So with that 60% breakover, they are not permitted to replace it. So they have been working with myself and Kelsey, and they have resubmitted a rendering for a very nice monument sign. We are not ready to permit at this time, but that is in the works. Our Gateway Crossing project, we are assisting with additional conditions in the development process with the transition from LDP to the building. Applicant has submitted the application and the building plans to request for the permit, and right now it's under internal review. We have been in communication with them today, and we have a meeting with them tomorrow to further that process. I'll just move past the East 2nd Street Hotel. The McKinney Street project for the Sims, we have they have redesigned a single-family home. The project is based off of a denial of the height that came up in 2025. It's a 2,100 square foot building located in an R2 zoning. and it meets all the requirements under our code currently for height, setback, and lot coverage. But based on the renderings provided, the exterior and the roof are made of metal, and this is shaped like what would be considered a barn dominium. The permit will be issued later this week in accordance with our current ordinances. We have had Mountain Street, another hotel proposal. The owner originally filed for conditional use approval for a hotel in CBD and a height variance to allow for 70 feet where the code allows for 35. After meeting with the staff, the applicant has agreed to withdraw the request and work with the development team to come back with a more suitable plan before bringing it forward. 611 East Main Street, the shops where we had the fire downtown. Project consists of rebuilding the retail stores that were destroyed in that fire. Previously, a demolition permit's been issued to clean the site. The applicant has filed for a land disturbance permit last year, and this week, with the review of staff, the city engineer, the LDP is pending approval based on the applicant's compliance with some other permits that have not been fulfilled at this time. The LDP is limited to site demolition, grading, utilities, and stormwater as outlined in the plans. And the owner and developer was advised that if they proceed with the LDP and install the stormwater, grading, and utilities, they would only be able to make minor changes to their plans because infrastructure would be set at that time. 302 East 2nd Street, the applicant purchased a property this week and has submitted an application for a demo and a building permit. The demo was issued by Kelsey today, and we've met with the applicant to discuss their building application, and there's some outstanding items, so those are being worked on actively right now. The other project that will be coming forward is off East 1st Street also, which is referred to as the Prather lot. The applicant has applied for a conditional use permit, and reviewing for the application, we're looking for completeness at this time, so it's still in the very infant stages. It is currently zoned CBD, so therefore a hotel is the only permissible there under conditional use. And that's all we have at this time.
Thank you, Jennifer. At this time, I'd like to ask Becky Harkins to come forward and go over our Water and Sewer Department report.
Good evening. Becky Harkins with the Water and Sewer Department. Can y'all hear me? There we go. Wanted to give you guys an update about some things we've done. I appreciate Jennifer for all the land development updates. She's covered that, and I don't have to go over those kind of things. MyGovHub is a feature that the city has added this month. It's available on our website, and this is a customer convenience feature where customers can pay by phone or they can pay by text. So customers will just go on our website. They can go to MyGovHub. They can sign up to receive text notifications about their bill. They can click on that. They'll be able to pay there. We've sent out notifications on Facebook about this, and we're also handing out flyers to customers regarding the new ways to pay. So we hope that helps people who don't have access to get to City Hall or who don't like to write checks anymore or just want it to be convenient for them to make a speedy payment. And wanted to let you know that our staff has completed 326 work orders year to date. That's out of 28 business days this year. Work orders get processed in the office, so there's a paperwork trail, and then they're passed on to field staff. So that's about 11 or 12 work orders a day that's going in and out of the office for everybody to get completed. And I want to give a shout out to all the utility workers that we have, all the crews that work out in the field. During the ice, during the snow, when you guys are at home in the bed asleep, these guys are out working if they need to. They show up when nobody else wants to, and they get the job done. So when you see them, just give them a big thank you, because they deserve it. We had a big project on East Main Street. We coordinated for 631 East Main Street. We had to make a water and sewer tap. Those things are paid for by your developers and customers, but they pay the city to complete those taps. Alongside that, this developer requested that we move a fire hydrant and relocate a storm drain. So they had to contract a private contractor to move that. We coordinated with their contractor so that the street was only disrupted one time in our downtown area. We were able to complete that job in 2 days, keep the pedestrian traffic flowing, and allow parking on East Main Street by routing vehicles in and out with flagmen. So that was a minimal disruption to the businesses. We checked on the businesses daily, and the project went very well. The concrete work has already been repaired, and we're waiting on Johnson's Paving to come in and complete the patch. But your guys got in there, they put in 2 long, hard days, and they completed that project in a minimal amount of time. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Becky. At this time, we'll move forward to public comment. We'll open the floor for public comment on any matter related to city business that has not already been addressed on tonight's agenda. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes. Yes. Well, I think so. Yeah.
Good evening. There we go. All right. My name is Troy Sherburne. I'm here tonight for the Brewers Business Association. Mayor and council, thank you first for your service and also for your staff and all the hard work that you guys are doing in this community. We had a beautiful weekend downtown during Fire and Ice this past weekend. I want to share a quick snapshot of what it looked like. On Saturday, there was approximately 16,500 people that within a 3-block radius downtown, up from about 13,700 last year. And in between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. during the festival hours, roughly 14,000 people were in the downtown corridor. So the weather was great, the energy was high, and the people were truly enjoying our city. It was a strong weekend for our downtown businesses. Most importantly, your staff supported the event exceptionally well. From the logistics to public safety, we're all grateful for that partnership. Events like this showcase what makes Blue Ridge special and what we appreciate, and with the continued collaboration. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Nice job this weekend. It was really nice.
Anyone else for public comment?
I'm new at this job, so bear with me. And I was at a commissioner's meeting. I'm sure you hear differently. But I want to thank this young lady here, your lady that's in the office over there that I addressed on this food truck issue. A lot of us people have purchased food trucks, and food trucks are not very reasonable these days. By the way, my name's Adonna Akers. I'm on here on behalf of Mike's Barbecue in Morganton. We were once in this beautiful city and unfortunately had to leave. With that being said, Mr. Rhodes, thank you and congratulations on becoming mayor. I think you're going to do great things here.
Thank you, ma'am.
My concern is that now that the farmers market is no longer accessible for us food trucks, where can we go in the city? And is it true that people who own their businesses in the city district cannot have food trucks on their property? Let me use an example, just Town and Country, the Rock Company on 515. Food trucks are no longer allowed to go there because I'm just curious why. And wouldn't it be up to the owner of these businesses to decide if they wanted to have a food truck outside of their businesses? I'm a little confused, and she's been a great help to me as much as she could, but I think things have changed since she came on board as well. So I think we're all a little confused, and I just want to do what is right and what is legal. So can you help us?
Absolutely. If you want to leave your number with me before you leave, I'll give you a call this week.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm Jim Corza. Good evening, council. Thank Bill for inviting me to come to ask my question.
Sir, can you pick up your mic, please, and talk right into it? Thank you.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
So I own Pez Rock downtown on Main Street, 524 East Main. And Canterbury is my tenant. And this is an appropriate time to ask my question because it's all about the CBD and so forth. I have an unusual situation. Half of my building is facing Main Street, but the other, Canterbury, is facing Roberts Way at a different elevation. Okay, and my question is, where is the 35 feet measured from? If it's from the foundation, technically speaking, I guess it would be Canterbury. It would be down there. So on Main Street, I clearly meet the requirement. On Roberts Way, I'm short. I have like a 4-foot skirt around my building. I even talked about you, Angie, once a long time ago. Angie's my neighbor. And I'm interested in going up on the building at some point. It is in the CBD. I don't think I would be an eyesore. I'm being an advocate for myself. If you look across the street, you'll see the tavern, you know, to the right of me, Huck's in that big building. Angie's building is smaller than me. Go to the Clock Tower building, and they're kind of like me because you've got Masseria underneath there. And but they went up 2 or 3 stories. Way back in the day, I was working with Roy Parsons. I was going to build an apartment. I'm going to be quick here. 2 apartments up top. But then I was pushing it for getting the loan from United Community Bank, so I just stayed where I'm at. But I built my building ready to go up. And so I just need some guidance. Should I want to go up? Where do you measure from? Perhaps there would be a compromise, and it would be like, well, maybe, Jim, you can do half of your building on Main, but not the other half. Anyway, that there are a few people that might have that, peculiar circumstance, and I'm just looking for some guidance.
Thank you, sir. Same. If you want to leave your information,
Okay.
I'll be prepared and give you a call back to
I appreciate your consideration.
help you.
Thanks very much.
Yes, sir. All right. Anyone else? All right. Thank you for everyone who spoke. The public comment is now closed. Lastly, at this time, I'd like to request that we enter executive session to discuss personnel. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the vote. All in favor? All right. All opposed? The motion passes. Thank you all for being here. Okay, y'all. At this time, I'd like to have a motion to come out of executive session.
I'll make a motion to come out of executive.
I'll second.
Let's go to a vote. All in favor? All right. Moving forward.
I'd like to make a motion to move Kelsey Ledford and Lisa Hall from probationary status to full-time.
Second.
Let's move to a vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, the motion passes.
I'd like to make a motion to enter into a contract with Tammy Galvis, CPA, on a short-term consulting basis to review where we stand with our 24 audit and our 25 financials, to give us her professional opinion as to how to best move forward with the 24 and 25 audits.
Second.
Let's go to a vote. All in favor? Thank you. The motion passes. And with that, that will conclude our meeting. This meeting is adjourned.